Few Christians, Catholic or Protestant, are as widely recognized and loved as Mother Teresa. Her face became a symbol of compassion. Her work became synonymous with mercy. And yet, the deeper story of her life is far more demanding and far more hopeful than many people realize. Mother Teresa didn't live a life fueled by spiritual comfort or emotional reassurance. She lived a life rooted in faithful obedience, even when God felt painfully absent. That's why she belongs so naturally in this month as we sit with Lamentations 3:22 through 23 and with the hymn, Great is Thy Faithfulness. Mother Teresa was born in 1910 and became a religious sister at a young age. She taught in a convent school in Calcutta, safe, ordered, and respected. But in 1946, while riding a train, she experienced what she later called a call within a call. She believed Jesus was asking her to leave the convent walls and go directly to the poorest of the poor, the sick, the abandoned, the dying. She didn't rush. She prayed. She sought permission. And when it came, she stepped into the streets with no guarantees. Mother Teresa didn't choose lepers because it was dramatic. She chose them because no one else would. In her time, people with leprosy were feared, shunned, and treated as untouchable. Many were left to die alone. Mother Teresa believed that every human being deserved to die knowing they were loved. She would say that her mission was not to cure disease, but to remove loneliness, to let the forgotten know they mattered. She washed wounds others wouldn't touch. She held people others avoided. She treated each one as Christ himself. At the center of Mother Teresa's work was one phrase, I thirst. She took these words from the cross seriously, not as poetry, but as a personal cry from Jesus. She believed Jesus still thirsts for love, for souls, for people to respond to his mercy. Everything she did, every hospice, every orphan, every leper, was her response to that thirst. She wasn't driven by pity. She was driven by love answering love. Now here's the part of the story that surprises many people. For decades, nearly 50 years, Mother Teresa experienced what spiritual writers call a dark night of the soul. She felt no emotional consolation, no sense of God's closeness, no inner reassurance. And yet, she never stopped praying, never stopped serving, never stopped believing. Some critics later claimed this meant she wasn't really a Christian. But the truth is the opposite. She remained faithful without feeling God, which is one of the purest forms of faith there is. She once wrote that she offered this darkness to God, asking him to let others feel the comfort she herself was denied. That isn't doubt. That's love. Mother Teresa suffered physically as well, chronic illness including heart disease, exhaustion, and the weight of constant responsibility. She didn't romanticize suffering. She didn't seek it, but she accepted it as part of loving in a broken world. Her life shows us that faithfulness doesn't depend on how God feels to us, but on who God is. This is exactly what Lamentations teaches us. God's mercies are new every morning, not because circumstances improve, but because his character does not change. Mother Teresa spoke clearly and courageously about the dignity of human life. She believed abortion was not just a social issue, but a wound to peace itself. She famously warned, paraphrased here, that if a mother can be led to kill her own child, it becomes harder to convince anyone else not to kill. For her, abortion was not only abandonment, it was intentional violence, the taking of innocent life as a solution to suffering. This conviction connects directly to January 22, the day of prayer for the legal protection of unborn children, observed by Christians around the world, and which we'll be observing this January 22. Her pro-life stance wasn't political. It was consistent. She defended life in the womb, on the streets, at the end of life. Mother Teresa's devotion to Mary sometimes unsettles Protestant Christians, but here's the heart of it. She loved Mary because Mary always leads us to Jesus. Mary was, for her, the first disciple, the one who said yes without knowing the cost. Mother Teresa didn't see Mary as replacing Christ, but as teaching us how to belong to him completely. Mary stood at the cross. Mother Teresa stood with the suffering. That connection mattered deeply to her. In 1979, Mother Teresa received the Nobel Peace Prize. She asked that the money be given to the poor. She was admired, but also criticized, for her views on abortion, for her understanding of suffering, and for the simplicity of care in her homes. But she never claimed to solve global systems. She claimed to love the person in front of her. She once said that if she could save just one soul, her life would be worth it. Mother Teresa teaches us that faith doesn't require feelings, mercy doesn't wait for perfection, and love doesn't turn back when it's costly. She lived what great is thy faithfulness complains, strength for today, not certainty for tomorrow, not relief from suffering, but grace enough for this day. Different lives, different callings, but the same faithful God.